Hello there, Fabian, and thank you for this, your very first essays. These look absolutely great. Welcome to the Sentence Guide program. My name's Andrew. I will be reading through your essays over the next few submissions, giving you some suggestions, some guidance, and I suppose some comments. I hope you're enjoying the course so far. Well done for getting this far. Let's get stuck into your first Task 2 response. So I believe that family communication has been disappearing across time. Now, while this is very dramatic and it sounds lovely, we should say has been decreasing over time. It's a more accurate description. It's not been, I wouldn't say it's disappearing. I also strongly believe that technology has changed the way that families communicate and relate to one another, or each other. This essay is going to present strong evidence from experts in the field of communication and relationships, the fields of communication and relationships, to demonstrate that although we are technologically connected, families' ties are getting weaker due to the lack of face-to-face communication. Good. Well explained. On the one hand, I believe that communication is the basic element for maintaining relationships and keeping families united. For centuries, scientists have been concerned about distances in order to facilitate communication channels at a bigger scale. So there's just a few too many words there. So for centuries, scientists have been concerned with the issue of communicating over distance, with travel being necessary at larger scales. To our fortune, Alexander Graham Bell created the first telephone that allowed or permitted us to maintain contact with each other regardless of distance. I wouldn't say regardless of time, because it's not regardless of time. In 70 years, for instance, I will not be able to communicate with you or maintain contact with you. So it's not regardless of time. As a result, families became strong units for the first time, with a phone by the side of the table. So I don't think those two things are that strongly related. The fact that there was a phone on the table maybe is not that big a driver of families becoming stronger units. I would maybe say as the era of having a phone on the side table emerged, families were able to communicate more frequently. Something that summarizes the idea that with the advent of technology, families could communicate more. But on the other hand, after the invention of the telephone, the basic model of communication has always required a sender, a channel, and a receiver. Yes. Nowadays, the receivers and senders do not have time to communicate effectively, and the channel is a smart gadget. Communication psychologists argue that with the inclusion of smartphones and tablets, parents are spending 80% of the family time on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram. I don't think it's just those three apps. So I would say on platforms such as, or on social media platforms such as, and then give your examples. I feel deeply concerned that families nowadays prefer a device than face-to-face interaction. So although in this essay we're asking you to give your opinion, essentially, to what extent do you agree? Save those opinions for the intro and the conclusion. In your body paragraphs, try to stick to the two ideas. So here, your one idea is going to be that, communication has increased, or the ability to communicate has increased, which you've got fine here. And then next, we want why that doesn't matter. So even though technology has increased, because you have argued that communication is getting weaker, so we want, even though technology has connected us further, we are drifting further apart. But that doesn't say anything about the people on either end and about the time they have to communicate effectively. So what we should do here really is, on the other hand, even with the invention of the telephone, maybe on the other hand, after the invention of the telephone, People have become fixated on their devices. Communication psychologists argue that with the advent of smartphones and tablets, parents are spending 80% of their family time on social media platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram. The lack of face-to-face communication resulting from this, or thus face-to-face interaction, is reduced. So try to leave your feelings out of these main idea sentences, these main idea paragraphs, because we're not here trying to convince people based on how you feel about a certain thing. We're trying to go through some reasoning, some rationale, and use the truth to convince us of an argument. But you have a very well-structured essay. Your grammar is okay, but you do have a slight tendency to overstate, to say things that aren't there, or to include a little bit of subjective information from your own opinion. But you actually don't have far to go, because normally the biggest amount of corrections we have to do are the little niggly ones, the little grammar mistakes that take a while to correct. And that's not the case with you. With you, I would just condense your ideas down into sharper, more precise communications. Maybe give your answer a quick proofread before you send it over. But no, well done for that one. That's good. Let's move on to your next one. So the development of children's imagination happens under pleasant activities other than reading. Yes, but let's put a little bit more detail in there. There are a range of pleasant and fun activities that can develop children's imagination to a greater extent than reading. Or, aside from the popular activity of reading, the development of children's imagination is possible with a range of fun activities. So then I would say, because now that we've introduced the idea here that kids can learn in good ways other than reading, so you don't need to then restate that the statement is true, because it's what you're saying. Experts have stated that kids develop essential skills through games with peers in different environments. Good. This essay is going to discuss both sides using specific information taken from the Canadian Occupational Therapy Association. Good. Use brackets there. And recent studies in the field of children's motor development. Cool. Maybe the development of children's motor functions, because a motor is an electronic device. We don't need to capitalize it either. But motor functions are the ability to move, given the brain's ability to process movement. So talk about the development of children's motor functions. First of all, it has been scientifically proven that children learn by association and games. Good. In other words, fun and engaging activities assist them in acquiring essential skills, I would say, such as hand-eye coordination, or visual, spatial awareness, let's say. Spatial awareness, motor coordination and communication skills. Good. According to the CAOTA, children who do not engage in playground games are at risk of being both physically delayed or impaired. I agree. I think that free play and social interaction is one of the most important things in youth. Play is children's occupation, or play is children's main focus. Or all children enjoy play, or almost all children enjoy play. Therefore, parents and teachers should create more learning opportunities through meaningful games in a variety of environments. Secondly, although reading is important for communication skills, it could not incorporate any exercises for the gross and fine motor skills. So a few too many words there. We've overcomplicated it slightly. So secondly, although reading is important for communication skills, it does not so it does not incorporate any physical exercise. So it does not refine motor skills. These particular skills are only acquired by interacting actively. So an interaction is active, so you don't need to include this descriptive word here. An interaction is rarely passive. So these skills are only acquired by interacting with the environment. So yeah, if the subject is interacting with the environment, it is active. The only way that this could be a passive interaction is if the subject was being mauled by the environment without being aware of it. Recent studies regarding children's motor development, again, we don't need the capitals here, on children either, any of this. Recent studies about children's motor development have recommended to parents to introduce, I would say, physical exercise equipment such as monkey bars, shooter board races, and facilities to run or jump with other children. This will allow them to develop stronger core muscles. I would maybe just stick, you don't have to name the individual parts of the body, so I would just say to help them develop stronger musculoskeleton. What's the word? Let's just say musculature. In order to develop stronger musculature. These activities are essential for developing other skills such as balance, bilateral coordination, imaginative play, and handwriting. Cool. From the evidence provided, it could be summarised that pleasant or engaging games are the best strategy to promote learning during the early stages of life. If concerns arise regarding motor deficiencies in children, parents should seek professional advice to tackle these issues. Good. But so, doing an enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills and imagination than reading. You've covered that all the way through. But here, the advice that parents should seek professional advice if their children's motor functions are deficient is completely off topic. And this is your conclusion as well. So we should be saying that while reading is paramount for developing academic skills, social skills, and strength and physical abilities, absolutely cannot be learned by reading. And so other deeper, more textured, more fun and social activities must also be used. So stay on topic, but other than that, these are some cracking essays. Well done. So what we need you to do now is compile your personal error list. Put it in a single email with these essays corrected using that error list, and then send us your new tasks. Well done for getting this far, Fabian. It's been a pleasure correcting your essays. I will look forward to your next task dropping into our inbox. See you very soon.